Think back to how he did Chicago. He had problems. He was great under Tibbs. Problems with Hoiberg. He's out. They didn't want to pay him. Then he goes to Minnesota. All of a sudden, Minnesota's too soft. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't work hard enough.
He was playing on the second. Sorry to butt him, but he was playing on the second team.
On the second team, and these guys are phonies and wimps. Get me out of here. All right, it goes to Philadelphia. Guys in Philadelphia. Now, that one's a little bit more foggy. Nobody knows if they wanted to pay him. Go get Tobias Harris instead. They postseason up and downs. Didn't know if we wanted to deal with Embiid. That's a whole other thing. Get me out of there. All right, I'm going to Miami. Now he's in Miami. You think this is home. They gave him the money he wanted. They play him. They don't ask a ton out of him in the regular season. Who's the common denominator in all this? It's not the franchises. It's Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is the common denominator in all of these problems with management, coaches, or front office. So he's finally with the one guy who does not get pushed around in Pat Riley, who has won championships with multiple franchises, who has succeeded at every level of basketball that he has probably been at. And this is the one guy who let he got LeBron out of there, let Wade walk, traded Shaquille O'Neal the second he saw him deteriorating. He does not care.
Right.
He will not cater to your needs. 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. Jimmy Butler requesting a trade again. I don't think Miami's going to balk. I don't think Miami's going to trade him. I think Miami is going to let him walk for nothing. I think that is the right move. Let us know your thoughts. 888-760-3776. What are the Heat going to do with Jimmy Butler? I think this is a poor reflection on Jimmy Butler and his relationship with basketball teams.
Is Butler good enough to do this? I don't think he is. I don't think he's good enough to do this.
At this point in his career?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe 4 or 5 years ago? Yes. 3 years ago?
I would even say 2 years ago when he had that good playoff run. And
they're in the postseason in 2023.
Right. What's their MO, Kyle? It was to make that ridiculous playing tournament that I can't stand. That's another topic for another day. And to win that and then go on a deep playoff run. We're a long time separated from that. And if the Heat get rid of Jimmy Butler, I don't know what Pat Riley's going to do. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure how you should handle this situation. But if the Heat get rid of Jimmy Butler, they now need a 1A again. Because Butler has been their 1A for a long time.
Heroes had a great year.
But don't you agree they need that superstar that's going to put them over the edge?
I think this is a little past that. I think the Heat, at this point, what are they supposed to do here? They're not going to get Butler straight up for another star. You think that the Heat, and also nowadays, some people have to understand about the NBA. This is not the NBA of 5 years ago where luxury tax doesn't matter. You could do whatever you want to indulge yourself with all these star players in these fat contracts that it doesn't matter. The second CBA that came about gives the players a lot more opportunities to get more money, but there's aprons to the luxury tax. There's a first apron, there's a second apron. If you are past these aprons, you have very strict restrictions in terms of how much money you could send out in trades and how much you have to return in trades. The Heat are flirting around with the first apron. There are teams that Butler wants to go to that are well past the first and second apron. One of them is the Phoenix Suns. He wants to go to the Suns. What do the Suns have to give? One person, Bradley Beal, who can both sides can afford, because that is basically you're trading the contracts. But the Heat do not want to pay Bradley Beal. No. I think they want the flexibility away from Jimmy Butler.
They'd have a lot, to your point, they would have, a lot of money this offseason.
They'd have a lot to play with.
Yeah, if they got rid of Butler.
It's an attractive destination.
Yep.
Miami speaks for itself. It's a great organization. It's the best coach in the NBA. I think this is a poor reflection of Butler, and I think he's going to get screwed because of it.
And I don't think the Heat culture is quote-unquote dead. I've been seeing a lot of that on X and social media. It's just I go back to them looking for that new 1A star. Butler was that guy for years. Led them to 2 NBA finals, weren't able to win those finals, but went on incredible runs and was able to carry the team. They need a new 1A star. They need to get rid of Butler, and they need to figure out who they want to bring in to be the face of that franchise. It is so star-driven in the NBA. It's been like that since I could remember 06, 07 when Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce became an entity. So you need to find that 1A star to pair around with Hero, to pair around with Adebayo. And another thing I want to bring up, too, Butler's got that style of play where he needs the ball. He kind of is like a LeBron-esque kind of player where the offense needs to go through him in order to get the best out of him. I don't know where he could go right now and demand the ball like that and be that 1A player. And this goes back to what I said in the beginning of the show. Can he even play like that anymore at 35 years old?
I have no reason to start to deny it, that this point he's still not going to be a postseason riser. Maybe that's all teams are looking for. But Jimmy Butler is not an 80-game-a-year player that he once was. He is not the type of player that will give you a strong regular season and strong postseason. He is 30. He's going to be 36 years old soon.
We saw him try to do the role player thing, right, in Philadelphia and in Minnesota.
That's part of the reason why he was out.
Exactly. He needs to be the 1A, I need the ball, offense goes through me
There's
guy.
also a certain point in time where Jimmy Butler has to sort of know that you're 36 years old. You cannot do that. So I think this is less about it's not about his role. It's not about how much he's getting paid.
Ego.
This is about ego. And this is about fragility. So let me get this straight, Jimmy. Minnesota was too soft, but Pat Riley tells you to toughen up and shut up and stop making a big deal out of yourself, and you want out?
This goes back to Pat Riley, as you said, old school. This guy's under contract for the rest of the year and has a $52 million player option. He's trying to get paid.
Well, hold on. This is not about a contract. Jimmy, Minnesota was so soft, and they didn't care about basketball enough and winning above all else and being hard-nosed. All of a sudden, now let's draw the line. Now we're drawing the line of what's mean and what's wants the better of the team. You don't think Pat Riley wants the better of the team? Pat Riley, of all people. You don't think he cares about what's the good of the Heat more so than you? That was the whole reason you got out of Minnesota, and now all of a sudden we're flipping? Now, all of a sudden, Pat Riley, the relationship is irreparable. And you can say what you want about Riley and his relationship with LeBron. What difference does it make? Jimmy Butler is not LeBron.
No.
So, I don't understand. I cannot sympathize with Jimmy Butler's position here. He's gotten his money. He gets a ton of leash in terms of how much he has to apply in the regular season. And he is an excellent coach with a good team around him. Not a great team, a good team, which might be enough. I cannot deal with it.
But he wants to see himself getting the joy back playing basketball.
Which is such a stupid and lazy response.
Wherever that may be, I'm quoting, by the way.
The joy of basketball.
Let me go through this real quick. I quote, I want to see me getting my joy back playing basketball. Wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon, Butler said. I'm happy here off the court, but I want to be back to somewhat dominant. This goes back to what you said of, the Timberwolves are too soft. Does that sound like something that Jimmy Butler would say at that moment in time?
Right.
This is soft stuff.
Soft.
I want to see me getting my joy back playing basketball. That's soft, bro. That's
Let's
some
think.
soft.
So
that's
we
some
have
soft serve.
we have Tyler Hero's having a career year. You have good players around you, a good supporting cast, and an excellent coach in a winnable, a competing. It's possible to compete in that conference. I wouldn't say it's winnable.
And they're
What are you asking for? What are you asking for? You want to get the joy back? Go average 30 on the Hornets. See how much you like it then. When you're winning 14 games a year. See how much you like organizational dysfunction. The Heat are not that.
There's two teams in the Eastern Conference. It's Boston and Cleveland. And New York, Orlando, Milwaukee, Miami, there's not much of a difference between all of those teams.
Well, the Knicks are better than all those teams combined.
But if you make the playoffs, you have a chance to go on a run and you have a chance to face off against a Boston or a Cleveland in these semifinals. And I'll hear you about the Knicks, tough, hard-nosed team. I like the Knicks. But my point is, the Eastern Conference isn't the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference is somewhere where you could win a playoff series. And I think Kyle Butler has proved that. He proved that in 2021, 2022, and 2023, going to 2 NBA finals in 3 years. So I can't take that serious either, partner. I don't, and this comes down to the Miami Heat and what they want to do. And Pat Riley is the best there is. Quite frankly, I don't see how this. I don't really know what Riley is going to do. If I know Riley, he'll let him rot on the bench all year, and maybe they figure out a way to get rid of him in the offseason.
I don't think this is about.
I don't think he bows.
He's not going to bench him out of spite. He's going to play him.
But is it going to be the 20 minutes? So in the 2 games he's played, he did not play